What's going on, guys and girls? It's Ghost Robo, and welcome to the wonderful world of Kingdom Hearts 3. The game is but a week away, and today I'm bringing you brand spanking new exclusive footage of a brand new world, the Caribbean, obviously based on the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and we are going to set sail and explore the Leviathan, our upgradable ship, a whole bunch of islands, a whole bunch of battles, and a whole bunch more. Big thanks to Square Enix for flying me out to Los Angeles to let me check out the game. It was a ton of fun, and I was super impressed with just how big this world is. The fact that they've shoved this large of a gameplay system into one of the Kingdom Hearts 3 worlds, pretty darn impressive. I cannot wait to see Jack Sparrow in the game fight the boss battles that were taunting me the entire time. We weren't allowed to go and face off against whoever waits, but we were allowed to explore this massive map. Hold your horses before you soak up any more of this juicy gameplay. We wanted to let you know that we're giving away 2 copies of Kingdom Hearts 3. We wanted to get you guys in on the action that we got to experience, so we're giving away 2 copies over on Instagram.
Make sure to check us out on Instagram. I'm at Magical Lifestyle, and head over to @GhostRobo. You have 2 chances to win a PS4 copy and an Xbox copy.
Awesome. Links in the description down below. Find the Kingdom Hearts post and follow the rules there. Very simple, 2 chances as she mentioned. The winners will be picked the night before launch, Monday the 28th, and they'll be announced over on Instagram.
Good luck, everyone!
And each island housed something different, whether it was a battle, whether it was a secret, and more often than not, they definitely housed a lot of crabs, because crabs are the way that you upgrade your ship. And in the beginning, the ship can just fire cannons and kind of move around, but by the end, it grants itself its own abilities. It levels up its speed, its strength, its defense, and you are a one-ship Donald, Goofy, Sora wrecking crew through the Caribbean, tackling and taking out every single oncomer. Now, I had a chance to play Kingdom Hearts 3 last year in the summer. I got to play a Toy Story Toy Box world and a Mount Olympus Hercules world, but this was probably my favorite demo of the game yet. The fact that it was so expansive and showcased a very different style of gameplay. The variety here was pretty impressive. Now, I will say that in some ways, the gameplay systems, in terms of combat and movement, do feel a little bit antiquated, but I think most people are here for the gorgeous art, the incredible variety, and then obviously all the Disney references. And yeah, the story. I think that's what people are actually most excited for. But you'll see me using in this gameplay 3 different Keyblades. We've got the Frozen Keyblade, Crystal Snow, we've got the Tangled Keyblade, Ever After, and we've got the legendary Pirates of the Caribbean Keyblade, Rudder of Fate. Got to utilize and employ a whole bunch of moves, build up a bunch of combos, and to me, that's what I'm going for when I play Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm trying to get as many of the special moves as possible, and I'm trying to unlock as many of the attractions as possible. You'll get to see 2 here. I've seen 3 in total across my multiple demos of Kingdom Hearts 3, and these are where they incorporate the Disney Parks rides into special Sora attacks. I think that's so cool, because my favorite element of Disney is the parks. The fact that they get representation here in Kingdom Hearts 3, absolutely awesome. In fact, I would be absolutely... It would be so amazing if there was a world based on Disney World itself, or based on Disneyland. Don't think that's in the cards. Pretty positive it's not happening, but that would be my dream DLC. Anyhow, the Toy Story world, the Hercules world, the Pirates world, we've seen glimpses of others as well. But like I said, this one's my favorite because it has the most, in terms of just expansive gameplay. It felt the most 2019, given that you have this huge, both vertical and horizontal play space to explore, and everybody that was at the event was really enjoying and really impressed by what they've created here. And like I said, like once you get to see the cutscenes with Jack Sparrow and the boss battles and things like that, I think this is going to be one of the best that the game has to offer. So I was really excited that we got to check it out and play it early. My girlfriend was with me, Raven, and she got to play as well. She had a ton of fun. As a long-time Disney fan, the fact that they're integrating so many movies means so much to her. And the fact that they have newer movies as well, the Frozen inclusion, the Tangled inclusion. Here are the crabs that we were chasing, I was telling you about we have to chase earlier. You want to grab the crabs as quickly as possible, because it is a bit of a bummer when you see that your ship can't do much at the start, and you end up avoiding enemy ships more than you do attacking. But once you get some upgrades, once you take that Leviathan to level 2, level 3, level 4, you really are quite a destructive force. There's a lot of other elements to this world besides just beating up Heartless. You have these X marks the spot treasure boxes, and for those you need to typically reach a high vantage point on the specific island and then jump down for a crashing, smashing attack, and we'll do that in a little bit here. We also have an attraction that appeared. This is the Astro Blaster Buzz Lightyear attraction from the parks, and it is crushing its way through this little crowd of Heartless. They're very powerful attacks, and sometimes I feel too powerful. You get yourself in these situations where you're just absolutely wrecking. But I will say I did die in the demo. I'm not sure how it was set, but it seemed like it was balanced pretty well. But I died during the ship combat. That was where things got a little bit dicey. And you'll see later on, you actually can board ships as well. Some of the bigger guys that don't just go down with a few cannon shots, you can actually board them and then fight a number of different enemies on those ships, and that was a pretty challenging encounter. There's also a whole lot of sand enemies that I both liked and hated at the same time because they were fun to fight, but also the most difficult in the demo. I like this vertical combat, pretty cool here as we climb this wall, and we're actually trying to reach a vantage point to smash down on an X marks the spot treasure box, and those will house different items. Wasn't allowed to really go into or showcase the menus, the gummy phone, the shops, things of that sort, so you won't see that here, unfortunately, but obviously the game is only a week away. And it's pretty cool that it's that close. Pretty cool it's releasing this early in the year. Typically, January is just a time of nothing. It's a time of replaying your Christmas games and waiting for those spring releases. But this year, I mean, the last few years have been great, but this one in particular, we have so much launching in the first quarter and even in January, and this one just makes it January 29th. I'm very excited to see how the full product feels, because it's a little interesting playing these worlds independently, right? You go and you play the toy box, and it's like, okay, this feels a lot like Kingdom Hearts in a Toy Story world. And then you go and you play the Caribbean, it's like, wow, this feels very different, very unique. But I think when they're put up against each other, it will feel even better, given that they are so different, they are so diverse. And at that point, you'll be like, wow, they really have spent all of their years investing into just the pure size and scope of this game, and the fact that one moment you can be running through a miniaturized toy world, and the next moment you can be running through a gigantic Caribbean where you're actually sailing on a ship, upgrading the ship, things that aren't seen across the rest of the game, and just that level of variety that I keep harping on, to me, is the coolest part here. And even if you're not a Disney fan, I think there is enough color, enough pizzazz, and enough fun to get something out of it. But obviously, if you do have a history and nostalgia with Disney, whether it's the movies or the parks, or even the cartoon characters, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, you will enjoy it a lot here. All right, we're going to jump down off this island, gain some altitude, and come crashing down for a special attack on the treasure box, and we get a whole village of crabs. There's our first upgrade, taking the Leviathan to level 2, and that will make the waters far more manageable. We also get a treasure chest with a little bit of love there. A classic Kingdom game that I really wanted to play and show you, accessed on the Gummy Phone, and I was not allowed. So TBD on the Gummy Phone games, but there are many of them, and they seem to be a pretty cool addition. I also think the game looks really good, and how they modify Sora's style for each world. That's something that we've known for a long time now. But again, getting to see like the Caribbean Sora matched up next to the Toy Story Sora, because I was able to dive back into that section once more. Pretty darn neat. I like the fact that they are modifying things in such a heavy way, not only gameplay-wise, but graphically, at least for Sora. And I guess graphically in general, because the Caribbean does look like a very different environment than, you know, Andy's house, and then Mount Olympus, than the Monsters, Inc. world. So it'll be pretty cool to put those back to back. Also, I love Wreck-It Ralph in the game. John C. Reilly, an amazing man, an amazing actor, did amazing things, even though Wreck-It Ralph 2 wasn't that great. The jokes were on point, and I got a lot of laughs out of their references to the internet world we live in. Now the ship sails with power. We've got the cannon shots, we've got our water wall, but we can take things to the sky, launch our boat high, and then drop down, smashing and crashing, dealing a lot of damage, and also taking on a lot of water. But that's all right. Donald and Goofy were pretty thirsty as is. They don't get a lot of food and water here in Kingdom Hearts 3, so we have to feed them at some point and keep them going. You're aiming for these different nodes, so the combat's pretty simplistic in terms of kind of just aiming at the nodes and taking them down. But once you do get the special attacks, and once you can do more than just run away, it does become a pretty cool little naval simulator, and it seems like they're just trying to give you a whole lot of genres poured in here and packed in. It's going to be really cool to see just how much more stuff there is, because it feels like they're holding a lot back, and that's probably for the best. You know, often games, movies, things that release media-wise, they put their best foot forward. And I'm not saying that Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't want to impress or awe or inspire with their trailers or their gameplay, but I really feel like this is a case where the coolest stuff is being held very near and dear to the hearts of the developers over at Square Enix. So we probably have, like, honestly, the best worlds, the best moments, the best gameplay systems still to be uncovered, and that's really exciting. Like I said, in an era when everything is kind of known, and often you'll get, like, the coolest moments and the craziest features right off the bat, I'm excited to dive deep in and see what the game holds 10, 20, 30 hours in. Okay, right now we've boarded a ship, and we're dealing with a pretty difficult battle, some big dudes, as well as one flying high, hanging on like a chain from the mast or something. He was pretty tough to tango with. We're utilizing that Rudder of Fate Keyblade here and trying to build up some combos, but these guys are belly bumping us out of the way and out of our routine. It was the toughest battle, I think, of the demo for me right here, and it made me so eager to see what the boss battle was going to be like. I hope that it is a combo ship, board ships and fight unique enemies type battle. That would be really cool and really dynamic. We take these dudes out, they got multiple meters, and we're working through them, trying to survive and stay alive as best we can, casting some spells and getting back into the Kingdom Hearts groove. As I mentioned, I played this last summer, so it had been a solid 6 months or so since I had hands-on with the game, and I'm more excited now than I was then. I was a little bit worried, just, I don't know, based on how similar the first go-around felt to other Kingdom Hearts games, and it still does feel very similar. Like, have no fear if that's what you're looking for. But I like that the Caribbean introduces so many new elements, and I really like this flag of power, this storm flag that the Rudder of Fate can modify into, and brings a lot of very acrobatic, almost Cirque du Soleil style combat to Sora and his squad as we cruise and bruise. Now, there's a lot of islands that also are just for you to explore and for you to go find some hidden things, and there's like caves and different pathways, and again, like a lot of those treasure boxes. I even saw a ship that it was like crashed underwater and locked underground, and you had to find a way in. I couldn't even find the way in, so I'm sure there's a secret. But swimming through the water is another big part of the Caribbean, and they have a full underwater system. There are underwater enemies, there are underwater things to explore and things to uncover and things to find. So while most of this gameplay is above ground and showcasing the islands themselves, you can go beneath, and there are even little water areas within the islands, little, like, I don't know what you call them, little pools that you can dive in and find items and fight enemies, and it works very well. Like, there's an ascend button, a descend button, and it's pretty simple to swim with Sora. I wish he was a little bit faster, but hey, he's a young guy. Probably hard to get perfect swimming skills when you're thrust into all these different worlds and don't know what you're going to face off against next. Pirate coins popping out, that is a nice one, and I do hope that we get some really cool movie scenes. I love Pirates of the Caribbean 1. I think the franchise got a little silly as it carried on, and you know, they decided to really go a lot more strange directions, but the first movie is so strong, so I do hope there's references there. And I love what I've seen thus far of this world. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the Caribbean and which world you're most excited for. Is it one of the ones that has been showcased extensively, or something that hasn't seen much screen time? I'm really eager, like I said, to see what lurks beneath the surface for Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'll be bringing you more coverage as soon as I can, hopefully in the next couple of days, because guys, it's coming out. If you've been waiting for years and years, and what feels like forever, you only have a few more days. So thanks again to Square Enix for flying me out to check out the game. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to stay up to date on what the game has as we near launch. I'll bring you more as soon as I can. Until that time, drink small child. Thanks again, everybody. Fantastic day. I love you a lot. We will see you all later.